comedy. It's out of my mind.
Hi, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a the Manolo Podcast in English. With my first guest in English, none other than my great friend, great comedian from Inland Empire. I was going to say LA, but no, from the Inland Empire, which is none other than Mr. Robert Thompson. How are you, my friend?
Oh, man. Thank you, dude. It's good to be here. I love the setup, dude.
It's an impromptu setup because we're right now in LA. Actually, we're in a spot up here in LA, and we're having a good time right now. And we decided to make this pod just like all of a sudden, right?
Yeah. Very, very quick, impulsive podcasts, which I think are some of the best, man. You never know what'll come out of that.
Exactly. Because I've been on your podcast like 4 times now, haven't I?
Yeah, you're about to be in like a few episodes that we're dropping. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But you never been on mine.
No.
But I guess our first 2 podcasts didn't go through, right? Because something happened. Or I remember we haven't even met when we did our first podcast. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was on the phone. Yeah. That was a trip, man. Yeah, we have like a bunch of B-side special features. Yeah, if any of us dies, we have a bunch of bonus features together.
Yeah, incriminating shit, man. I'll tell you that.
I don't know, man. Yeah, a little bit, but
so yeah, Robert, how did we meet? Can you tell everybody how we met?
So during the pandemic, there was things changed, and Kill Tony, the big show, based out of the Comedy Store. It's a huge comedy live podcast where people get 60 seconds to tell jokes. And during the pandemic, it had changed formats where people submitted videos because you couldn't be anywhere with anyone. And they would do it remote out of a studio. And so people would send in jokes. But at the time, I feel like it was just such a bummer because like that show lived off of the live audience.
Were you always a big fan or sort of a fan? Or
yeah, I mean,
how did you get into the Kill Tony?
Well, I had a friend that had been doing stand-up for 12 years or so since when because I had taken a little break from stand-up. I was doing music and sketch comedy and so many other things. Then I was like, I'm going to get back into it. And at the time, I was not in a good place. I was like taking a bunch of Adderall. I was just all over the place. But it kind of saved me getting back into stand-up. I feel like it was like a good thing for me to get back into, just to be myself and go for my dreams, And because I always wanted to do comedy in whatever form.
I want to get a little bit into that about how you're calling it your dream. I want to get a little bit into that. I just want to go back to what we were talking about, right?
Kill Tony. Yeah.
So the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And what happens? Okay, you were right before on the last shows. Or were you on the last show when they did it live? No,
I think I know you were, and I saw you there. So the thing is, I saw you perform there a couple times, and then and I remember when you did Sublime, it like won the audience over.
That was crazy. Right?
It was crazy, yeah. But the format of the show changed, and like that show kind of lives off of the audience and their reaction. Yeah. And like when they had changed that, I think it kind of it suffered a little bit because it's a little awkward roasting someone on Zoom. You know what I mean? Like over their set. And a lot of people have never done stand-up before. It's just some awkward dude in a closet like, yeah, jelly beans are abortions or whatever. The joke is this is my favorite joke. That's my joke. No. So I remember when, you had done a bit on Kill Tony that like crushed. And I remember I was super intrigued by it. I was super entertained by it. And I thought it was really funny and interesting, but you interviewed, prostitutes in Mexico, and that that was kind of cool because you were doing something that they couldn't do before, like man on the street, stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was always at the Comedy Store, and that's it. It was kind of cool to see that other element of the show, and you brought something that was really entertaining and interesting in like a fucking really downtime of that show. And so when you did that, I had the idea because I felt like you were very it was very funny, and it was like something significant on the show. So it's like kind of inspired. I'm like, dude, it'd just be funny to see my brother as like a Mexican hooker.
Yeah, how do you come up with that? I mean, you saw it and you went like, oh, that's funny. And then you went like, yo, I'm gonna do a
Well, I think it clicked because you were literally the only thing on that show, and it was such a weird time, and everybody was it was just the only thing that made sense to that show to do, because you're the only one doing anything that was like memorable, you know? And so I was like, oh, that'd be kind of funny if I'm the Manolo interviewing my brother as a prostitute. And like, because I think he had imitated one of the chicks or something. And I'm like, dude, and it just clicked. Oh, okay. Yeah, it clicked. And so it's like, let's fucking do it. And
that's probably how it started. There's probably a behind the scenes story about that, right?
Yeah. Well, and so
that'd be funny. He's hilarious, by the way.
Oh, he is, man.
Man, I don't know why he's not up on stage for real.
Oh, I know. Like, I am like a quarter funny of how funny my brother is. He literally would be like the next Chris Farley, the next
totally.
And he nailed it in that video.
Yeah,
like his like dedication, dude. So we did a parody of your segment where, you know, I'm telling jokes and then my brother shits on me, and my friend Mike was the judge that sentences me. But it was so absurd and silly and fun, and
that it killed.
It killed. And I remember feeling just this rush, dude, because the last time that I was on Kill Tony, you know, I had gotten lucky where I was going up there, and it's a show where you get 60 seconds and there's a panel and there's some huge comedians that'll be there. And I had I got lucky, and I had 2 sets that just like crushed. And then I went back and had an okay set. And then I had the last set I did was in front of Too Short and Louis J. Gomez. And I think earlier in the show, they had told some to kill themselves.
One of the greatest comedians, right?
Yeah.
Too Short?
Oh yes. Yeah. Bitch. No, he is... He you know, he's a fan of comedy.
He's Too Short, dude. He's Too Short.
It was dope, right? Yeah. And he was cool as fuck. And I remember just being not ready, and I was in my suit because I was doing something else that day where I was filming with the suit. And my buddy's like, dude, just sign up, man. You do well on the show. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I'm up there and I did a joke that I hadn't done in like 3 years. Yeah. And I was rushed and I was out of breath. I was all on, you know, Adderall, all like hyped up, and it just didn't translate and it didn't do anything. I remember just feeling just the biggest punch in the gut.
And just, right before you killed your last set.
The last times on there were good.
Segura, right?
Yeah,
Tom Segura?
Tom Segura, and then Mark Maron and Doug Benson was even better.
Of course.
And so it was just like you kind of, there's a point where you could push your luck if you're not ready.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, that's when I really took things seriously and got into like working on my craft again, you know, because the first couple of years I did stand up, I was always just busy with so many other things. Yeah. And then in 2018 to 2020, I just tried to run with stand up, doing as much as possible, you know, and I think I've always done so many things that involved other people. Yeah. So it's nice to have like just relies on me. Me and you are musicians. Yeah. You know, I've done sketch comedy, film projects, and it takes a minute. But stand up, you could literally just go up, hey, I feel like trying this tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you and of course, if you have worked on it before, because you got to have something. You know, you can't just memory. You can't just fucking go up and go like, yo, here's a knock joke.
No. Yeah,
like,
you got something.
You got to pull it out of your bag, and something that you've worked on that you know that sort of works or has worked before. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That I want to go up. Right?
Yeah. For Kill Tony, it was kind of a bold thing, but it was a good way to kickstart me back into it. And it was very like inspiring, you know, because dude, I hadn't been up in 2 years or 3 years maybe trying to do stand up. And I went up there and I remember hearing that Mitzi Shore liked it when people talk about their family and she liked impressions. Yeah. Totally. So I just shoved both of those. I talked about my dad getting his ass handed to him because he plays video games and he gets really into it.
I think that's a good gag.
Yeah. And that one, and then I did my Vince Scully, the Dodgers announcer, talking shit, and it just is not a normal impression. Yeah. I was like animated. I was in it. And I knew that those jokes had worked before. So I just was like, all right, I'm going to do that. But when I did it in front of Too Short, it just bombed. And so when did you do the Vince Scully in front of Too Short? No. No. I wish. Yeah. But when I did the pandemic shows, I mean, it felt so good to get on there and do well again. Yeah. But it was so cool. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's inspiring because it was like a little vision really quick. Let's just do this. And it came together. And that's the cool thing about, you know, art, not to sound like a pretentious fuck, but like just the fact that you can make something, it's kind of magical how we just you visualize things and then it can happen.
Some of the best things come when you don't think about it too much, when you don't get in the way of your shit, you know?
Yeah, you got to be yourself.
That's what happened, yeah.
You got to be yourself. You got to let it like come from a natural place. Because a lot of times people try to force things and you know, I think that it just happened, and I rode with like the feeling, and I feel like, you know, we're at a point where like we're trying to run with our stuff, and you want to take those swings sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Just do it.
Totally.
Yeah, because then you see some other psychopath that literally is 12 steps ahead of you because he's just, you know, doing that. But I don't know if I feel like being a psychopath, but you know, you got to just do it.
You got to take risks.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're saying, right? You got to take risks and everything so you can get that reward. That was going to be my 5th time appearing on Kill Tony, because I did that twice before the pandemic. Then I did 2 videos, the one with the prostitutes, then a TS prostitute, right? And then I was gonna be on it again. I don't know what I was gonna do or something. I don't remember, but I couldn't be on. And I remember watching the show because they were live back then. Remember, they were live. And all of a sudden, Raviolo or whatever, and I was, what the fuck? And I just found it like so fucking funny that I had to look you up. Who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah.
Who's this? I remember I reached out to you, right? Like, yo, man, thanks a lot. That was funny as fuck or whatever.
I was gonna reach out to you first, actually, because it was like, I don't want him to think it's coming from a place like that, because it was a caricature, anyways. Like you were like, you know,
that was really me though.
Well, I mean, it was
my videos was really me, but
well, dude, no, but you and then you did a follow-up video.
I did,
which was like had a lot of production value in it, and then I did another video that had more production value in it. And then at that point, dude, we were like, I was getting followers from it. You were too, and then I remember thinking, like, I remember him saying, just submit videos anytime and we'll play it.
Yes.
And then everything changed when they changed the format and they went right back to live in the studio.
I mean, it worked out for them at the end. I mean, those dark times for them. Well, you can see the proof is in the pudding right now, right?
Yeah,
because it worked. Yeah,
them going to Texas was the best move.
Next level shit right now. Because we've been there a couple of times now, right?
Yeah, a couple of times.
And the energy is incredible, dude. It's another thing. It's a fucking a full stadium show. It feels like, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that time when they were submitting videos and doing that whole thing, that's like a totally different, great program in itself. What do you think?
I think so. I think there could be a show there, you know, like with that format still. Yeah. Because a lot of people, it's just cool to be able to, I mean, maybe you could blend that with a live audience and still have people elsewhere, like, you know.
Because you know what? I'm thinking about it because you know, it's, I don't know, an hour show, right? And people submit their sketches. It's like a sketch show done by people outside the actual program, you know?
Yeah.
The hourly sketch show, whatever. And it's gonna be sketches from comedians, and maybe somebody can curate it and and these are the best right now, and maybe they'll have like the regulars. That's a show in itself, right?
I know it is. Yeah, and that's what that was becoming for a minute. Kill Tony was almost a sketch show for a minute, and we were like, I mean, it was good for us at that time, but yeah, I mean, it's an inspiring thing because it gives you like a little push because everyone got the jokes that we were both like what we were going for, and that always feels good just to be like to have your stuff kind of hit and be understood, you know, like
They were doing that at at the different spots, right? But then they went back to the Comedy Store with no audience.
Yeah, the audience would be outside watching on a TV screen.
Yeah, so that was a dark time, dude.
Yeah.
That was dark because I was inside the studio, and I'm pretty sure most of the people could say the same thing about it. Because, man, it was just weird. It was just Michael Lair, bless his heart, love that dude. And he was the only guy laughing.
Yeah.
And it was just doing a set for it was like an audition. Because Tony was trying to keep up his shtick or who he is or whatever, you know, like not laughing and all of that. So it was just weird, dude. I didn't like it. So that was my next appearance after the videos. And it was not good at all, man. It was not good at all.
And now you see it and where they went, and it's working really well, you know.
It's incredible right now.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And do you think more people sign up now than when it was back here in LA?
I don't know. You know, I think it's probably about the same, really, because there's or more. I don't know.
How many people do you think sign up?
Man, it was definitely over 100 people in LA,
right?
But there, it may be more, dude, because you know, you think about it. even like when it comes to just the audience response, like LA was the shit that was like their home, but I feel like people are just kind of spoiled in LA because we just there's so many opportunities to see other things. And there it's like, this is the big show.
Yes.
And so you feel that there, you know,
they're
right
rock
now,
stars. They're rock stars. They were
yeah.
making a line to take a picture with Tony, which mostly deserved, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I just found it like odd, you know?
I mean, they were doing that on tour. Like I saw them in Dallas and it was like that. I think it's just LA, you know, it was different. It was like, it just felt like, oh, this is their home base.
Yeah, exactly.
But there it's cool. I think it probably bred new life into the show. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they ever go back to LA for like a special thing. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that's where it started, you know.
So 100 people sign up, 10 probably get called up.
If that. I mean, sometimes they'll run with some dude for like 40 minutes, it feels like. And then.
Oh, right now.
Yeah.
But it didn't used to go that long, did it?
No, they're pretty quick. It's probably like 10-minute interviews, I think.
Right. I remember once I ran like 15 or 20 minutes. And I was like, God damn.
It depends. Yeah.
You know, but that's what I was getting at, that you signed up twice and both times you got up.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was weird.
Right?
Yeah. Very weird. That happens to a lot of people. Though.
Right. That happened to me.
It's kind of random, you know? It's like.
That happened to me, but back to back, like week after week.
That happened to me too.
Isn't it crazy?
For your first 2 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Me too.
That's crazy, right? That's wild.
That's weird how it works out that way, but it's a rush, man. It's a show that, like, you know, people. I think it's funny because it's been very influential to comedy, but it doesn't really get the credit for that. I mean, it kind of does, but you think about Ali Makovsky. Fuck, man. Kim Congdon, all those people that come from the show that are having careers doing comedy,
and the people who are right now, like Lucas, like
David
William,
Lucas,
like
William Montgomery, Hans Kim.
And you know, I like it how Lucas puts it, that this is sort of the new SNL, which I sort of agree.
Yeah, I mean,
to a certain point.
Yeah, well, dude, it's funny because I think, you know, sometimes because we grew up with Saturday Night Live and like the way media was with like movies and TV, and that was where you were big. Yeah. And I think it was kind of funny because I know that they've tried to pitch Kill Tony as a TV show for a long time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like Roast Battle was a TV show. Why not Kill Tony, right?
Okay.
But I think, you know, it's funny because it comes to a point where like they don't need it. Like their TV is. I mean, you could watch.
Why would
YouTube.
they? Why would they?
Yeah, and then it would have someone else who's gonna like intervene and change. And you're seeing that a lot now because of the way Joe Rogan and a lot of the podcasts and YouTube community. It's very pirate ship like, where it's just like, we're gonna do it our way, and this is how, you know. And it's
awesome, right?
It's how it is now.
It's a great time.
Yeah. It is a great time for comedy, you know. And I think. You know, it'd be interesting to see like where it's going. Yeah, I mean, they do just fine. Like they are killing it.
Killing it. I bet they're making bank as well.
Oh,
I don't know how. I mean, with sponsors, I don't know, but they're doing it right now.
Yeah.
So we met at that gruesome, dark show at the Comedy Store, right?
Yeah.
We kicked it there for a while, and I don't know what went about after that. Maybe I think you invited me to your podcast. I think.
Yeah, we were just trying to keep busy
with Ryan, right?
Ryan D. Yeah, we had you on.
Yeah. RIP, right?
Yeah.
Right. We were at his house.
It was at his place.
Yeah. We did like a little pod. I think it's up. Because I saw it. I don't know if it went up back then, but after his passing, I think you put it up.
Yeah, I put up like chunks of that one. I was kind of saving it because like footage of him is like precious, you know, and I was gonna put it out a year later, but I think, you know, I'm gonna put out eventually the whole thing. I put it up on Patreon, but yeah, it was a cool time. I mean, yeah, there's a good chunk of it up on an episode.
Hell yeah.
Somewhere. But yeah, that was cool. And then we were thinking we were going to Texas, or we did go to Texas.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Wait, did we go?
That's how it went.
Yeah.
We just went like, you know what? Fuck, let's roll.
Yeah, we made a new video. That's what it was. We were preparing for us going to Texas.
Yeah.
And I think I'll put that up again the next time we go.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Or maybe we should do another one. Fuck it.
I mean, that one was fucking hilarious.
Right? And with Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan and Ross, you know, my co-host. Yeah.
Ross
and have Ryan again. It's cool, but yeah, man, that was a great time, dude. It was exciting, you know, like And lately we've just been working on our comedy and just like getting back out there and hopefully getting up on Kill Tony eventually again.
Yeah. So Robert, I wanna find out, like, do you want some more water?
Oh, sure.
I want to find out, like, when was your first instance of comedy, of witnessing comedy, of like, what was the first thing that you saw that really made you laugh? You know, when you were young, when you were whatever, when you were like, oh my God, this is cool.
Dude. I don't know, man. Maybe Three Stooges or something. You know,
really? Did you used to see that?
Yeah, I love the Three Stooges, dude. You know, big.
But how would you watch Three Stooges
on TV? Yeah,
were you born in the 50s or
yeah,
what?
well, the reruns. You know?
Okay. Yeah, and that's what you used to watch.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, like the Spaceballs, you know,
Spaceballs, of course.
Yeah, all that stuff, dude.
Were there shows that you used to watch a lot, or what?
Oh yeah, I mean, fuck. Let me think. I mean, there was a lot of shit. We'd watch a lot of movies. You know, like all the classics. You know, I mean, Tommy Boy was one that I loved. Okay. All the In Living Color. In Living Color was one of the earliest for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, where you went like, whoa, what's
Jim
going on,
Carrey,
right?
Of course, seeing Ace Ventura. I mean, that was fucking crazy.
Which you're doing the
yeah. Small can. No, that's not the same movie, but whatever. I have a joke about that too. You know that they made an Ace Ventura 3 with a kid. It was like Ace Ventura Jr., right? It was
that
like
really happened?
Yeah, it really happened. It was like a straight to video movie.
Okay.
And I always joke, like, because it was like a chubby kid, like if he like just brags about being Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura Jr., you know, like while he's hitting his meth pipe at a party, you know, like you know, he's smoking and just fucking he's quoting The Mask. He's like so fucked up. No, but yeah, it's I think a lot of that, like the Mel Brooks movies, Spaceballs, Saturday Night Live. Yeah, Blues Brothers was a movie I'd watch a bunch. Dude, I don't know. And then like Comedy Central in the 90s when they had those like premium blend specials. Yeah, seeing Insomniac with David Tell.
I never saw that show.
Dude, that show was awesome.
I remember the commercials for it, but I never saw it.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. And so I started doing sketch comedy at 12 years old, like through public access.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, when do you realize that this is what you want to do, or did you want to become a musician before?
Well, my brother and I would have put on like little comedy shows for my like family in my grandma's house. We'd like run and be like, oh, here's our show. And we'd do that. And then we started, once I got a video camera is when I started fucking around with stuff with friends.
Yeah.
And we'd make like movies with action figures and shit and just like us doing stuff. And then once I got on public access, because I loved Kids in the Hall. I loved Mad TV, SNL. You know, sketch comedy stuff. So totally. I was trying to emulate that. And then, you know, when we got on cable TV.
How did you get on cable?
Well, I saw a commercial and it was like this trippy commercial saying like, you know, want your own TV show? And I was like, yeah. And, you know, it was.
was it the devil or what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sign here. Sign your soul here.
Yeah, here. Put your soul here. Spread that ass. You're going to be on show business. Yeah. Give me your ass pussy. No, it was really horny devil.
Although it sounds like a dude with a wig.
My name's Ashley. No, I don't know. Whatever. But it was you know, even stuff like Kablam, like Nickelodeon was like influential. Dude, Ren and Stimpy, all that stuff. But I remember,
so you saw that commercial.
Yeah.
You call.
I called and it was this guy named Preston. And he's like, oh, this is Preston of Public Access in Chino. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, I misheard because I was
like, who's named Preston?
That's what you were thinking? It was the president. I thought he said it was the president of public access. So I remember being like,
"Hi, I'm Preston, the president of the United States, or what?
Or president of the public access in the
of
world.
the world?
Yeah. So,
I'm president of
president of public access of the world." And so I was like super intimidated. I'm like, "Oh, well, sir, you know, Your Highness, Mr. President, I want to do a show." And he was like, oh, well, we're going to have classes because they would offer classes to teach you how to produce a show.
Of course.
And he's like, yeah, maybe come back later, like in the fall. And so I went with my mom and there was a loophole because you had to be 18 to produce a show.
Okay.
Because my mom went with me. They just put my mom's
She was
name.
18, right?
Yes. Okay. She was 16. No, but we lied. But yeah, so she would like come with us. She basically just drop us off. And then like, they would film us, you know, trying to do our sketches. And, you know, I feel bad. A lot of those guys were really cool to us, you know, but we'd just go and fucking.
And what was your show about? Or
it was called You Know That Show.
You and your brother?
My brother was in it sometimes, but it was called You Know That Show.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, and so I had friends on it, and my friend Darren kind of...
Do you know that show? And was it like that? Like, yo, do you know that show?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a great name, and it's funny because we were 12 when we started it, and a lot of the sketches, we're just like trying to get a semblance of sketch comedy, and at the time there was some other shows on that channel that were like fucking awesome, and we were like in awe of them, and we'd love it, and we'd watch it, and it was so cool just to put out. It was in 1999 when the first episode came on television, and back then it was a big deal, to have like something on.
Of course, on
TV,
yeah.
And it was on cable access. I mean, who knows who saw that, but it was just felt like really cool to have something. And we
right?
I don't know. Something's going on. Oh shit!
What the fuck? Okay,
Should we keep going?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sweet. Someone's getting down, dude.
They're probably smashing, right?
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
Yo, okay, so what's public access? Because I don't really even know what public access is.
Well, there used to be like a service where people locally could like with the local cable station, they'd usually have like a TV studio that you could film out of. Not all of them had that, but a lot of them did. And that's where a ton of people got their start. Tom Green started with cable access in Canada, and then he got on like a cable network.
Is it like KPBS or no?
Yeah, but a little, there's like levels of that. Like there's just like, open mics. There's like the improv open mic, or there's
gotcha,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So for us, it was, a little below PBS, but there was some shows on there that were great. There was this guy actually that went to PBS that was on it called Jeff Baker. He's a super cool dude. He was a producer there. He had a show called Man in the Kitchen that was like a cooking show, and then he got on PBS. But Josh Thompson had a show, and it was called Schlock Theater. And Josh Thompson, we have like the same fucking name. It's fun. Yeah. But he's super amazing, talented dude.
He's on Family Guy, right? Or
he's
was
on
he?
Family Guy. He was on a ton of movies, video games, voiceover stuff. It's just extreme.
And one of his best credits that he was on the Robertland podcast with the Manolo.
Oh yes,
right?
yes, that's right. That's one of the biggest credits of his. But no, he was. I mean, so talented even then, and we were like in awe because he did that show.
I saw the pilot, dude.
Oh, of the
Sick.
JRT show. Oh
Sick.
man, yeah.
Sick.
We did those cable access shows. We had some friends there, and what's cool is years later, after he had done the Craig Ferguson show, been on Howard Stern, all that stuff.
Yeah,
we kind of started doing a lot more with Josh again. And my friend Kamel directed this pilot. It was his TV pilot after he left the Craig Ferguson show. Okay. The Craig Ferguson show ended, and so he just did it himself. He produced a whole pilot, and a lot of the public access crew that we started with were all involved.
Yeah.
Even our friend Ray, who passed away right after that. It was a really cool thing because it was all just done our way, and then he's going to show everyone like, hey, this is what we're doing. And it got shopped around like a bunch. Adam Sandler saw it, Happy Madison, Comedy Central, all this stuff. And, things happen. Like everyone has their own reasons why they don't pick up shows. Like it was weird. Like, they would say another show that had puppets in it was, oh, we already have Crank Yankers. But, the show was nothing like Crank Yankers. But, either way, they went to a lot of meetings with people. And what's cool is it's still.
Is he going to do it back again or no?
I mean, who knows? Like, because,
he could probably do it independently, right? If he would get the funding or.
Yeah, I mean, it was expensive.
Right?
Yeah, it was expensive, and you could see it, and you could see how well it looks, and what's cool though is it's still like kind of beneficial because he put it on YouTube. He's like, whatever I'll put up there, but then he ended up getting an audition to Saturday Night Live because of it. Matt Stone and Trey Parker of South Park saw it, and to me, the fact that they saw anything that I was involved in is like. It makes you feel like.
What will you be more excited for? SNL giving you a call, or Trey and
Matt Stone and Trey Parker, yeah,
totally right.
I mean, I grew up loving both of those things, but I mean, it's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, dude.
That's because for me, I think is in my life, SNL's probably more important, but South Park or those guys or whatever they do is like. More impactful.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's also them. It's just them two. I mean, there's a crew that they have that make that show great, but it's just like they're the masterminds. SNL is ever changing. It's not always like the same. You don't always feel the same way about the show. Like there's times where you could love that show or love things about it, but Matt Stone.
Right now, I was talking to a friend comedian of mine, a Mexican comedian. He was like, "Yo, tell me about your favorite comedians, or who's the best comedian in your opinion?" Right? He asked me, and I told him, "Not my favorite, but to me, and this could probably work both ways. Like I could ask you right now, but like to me, like the best comedian is Louis C.K."
Oh yeah. He's I think he is like the gold standard of stand-up, dude. Yeah.
Probably even more than whoever people consider the GOATs.
Yeah.
To me, that's like the best. I don't know why. I couldn't pinpoint why, but I guess just overall, because he's groundbreaking like all of them. He's got great joke writing like all of them. He takes all the risks like all of them. But there's just something about him that makes me think like, you remember he was cranking out fucking a special each year, and all of them were really good. I mean, they weren't the best, but they were really good, right? But this is my point though, because he was telling me, tell me about them. Going back to SNL, right? I went like, yo, check out. He was actually on SNL, and I was reviewing his SNL, the one about the French pedophile doing it on fucking open TV, man.
Oh, wow.
You remember that one or no?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
He opens up with, "I'm not a racist, but I was born in the 70s," and boom, 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 boom. He was from there.
Yeah.
And just climbing. Fucking great, man. Who takes those risks? Oh, how could you take those risks right now, right?
I know, it is crazy. And I think it's, like regardless of whatever anyone thinks about him or whatever he's done or, it's weird. It's like I mean, a lot of artists have issues, but I feel like his stuff is just so like it taps on like such an honest level, and so I think that's why it hits so hard, you know.
Okay, so Robert, so when did you decide what was your dream, being a musician or being a comic? Because I've heard that all comics are like frustrated musicians.
Yeah, well, I think they are. That's a good analogy, or and I think there's just creative people in general. It's hard to say like, it's hard to formulate like those things because you're just compelled to do it. Like there's so many things that I should be doing for myself or whatever, but like with comedy or art or whatever, you just do it. You're compelled. I could be in a straitjacket and be writing a story in my head, like I don't know what this is about me, but I think it's just in you to do those things.
Do you remember like a specific time when you went like, yo, I'm gonna give it a go? Do you remember your first time going up? Do you remember the first joke that you wrote?
I think so. I think one of the first ones was God, what was it? Might have been about technology or something. I think I was talking about phones or cell phones, when
you were a kid or what?
Oh, well, like, I mean, because I didn't do stand-up until I was probably 27 or something. I think it was the first time I did it.
What stage?
It was in Orange County, because I talked to my friend who had been doing it for years, and he's like, "Oh, hey, if you're gonna start, just start in Orange County, eat a dick over there, and then come to LA."
Of course.
And so I went, and that's where I met Evan, our buddy, the cast man Cassidy.
Shout out to the cast man himself.
Hell yeah, dude! And I'd heard about him before, like I didn't know it. I was friends with his old band, and
Pocket Protectors.
Yeah, well, Pocket Protectors, yeah. And our band recorded at the same spot, so I heard about him when I was 14, and then years later met him doing stand up. So we already had that in common, and it was funny though because I did it. What was it? My first open mic was at Max Bloom's in Fullerton, and that was a spot where a lot of people would go, and there was like a homeless dude in there just heckling everybody. And I made a page, like a Facebook group, because I just was like, oh, if anyone wants to come support me. And then like a good amount of people came out because everyone was waiting for me to do stand up for forever.
It's crazy how when you start off as an open micer,
more
people.
Yeah, everyone's excited, and then they come see you fucking suck dick, and then they're like, oh, okay. But I mean, that's not true. I think there's just different points in life where people are able to come see you, and like, yeah, when you first start doing it, it's just like exciting. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's so funny. how that
And then
works.
after a year in when you think you're good, after a second year in when you think you're better, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, well, they don't know what's going on. They think that you're like selling out stadiums or like do it. You know what I mean? They think you're just doing it. So they just, but I think, I think it is funny how that works. But it was cool. They went and it was kind of funny because a great comic, Connor McSpadden, he's fucking, he's from Chino as well. He's, fucking super sharp.
Sounds like an MMA fighter.
Oh, he does, dude. Yeah.
Connor McSpanner?
But he was one of the best even then. He was 19 and he was just like, oh, fuck, this guy enunciates, and he's got jokes. But I remember him being like, what the fuck is it? Because, it was Max Blooms and all these people came in. And I remember being like, all right, please no one say that you're here for me. Because it just looks, because remember when I used to do like showcase show, there was these battle of the bands things. Yeah. And it always annoyed me when like someone came with like a ton of people and they like paid for all the tickets. You were always like, oh, fuck them. Like just because they have all those people doesn't mean they're a better band.
Exactly.
So I felt like that vibe where I'm like, no, I want to be with the comics. I don't look like some fucking turd that thinks he's the shit. But it was
like I never invited my family when I performed
really?
with my music band because that would I would get shy.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be able to perform, And
Yeah.
I do the same here with comedy. I don't invite like my mom or my sister, but I invite my girl, right? Because she was sort of, I don't know, it's weird with me in that way. But
well, yeah, we're trying. You just want to get going and get like working at it, And I think it was funny because I remember him being like, "Oh, why the fuck is all these people here?" And then, someone finally said it. My friend Ashley was like, "Oh, we're here for Robert," and then I was like, "Oh, fuck!" And then he kind of roasted me. But then I went up, and then I talked to him after, and he had like, good things to say about my first mic, and I mean that meant a lot.
Do you remember the first joke you said?
I think it was about Bill Cosby, maybe. It's fucking super typical. No, I think it might have been.
It was about Will Smith back in the day.
Yeah, but I predicted it, dude. No, I had a bit about old people, like about just like how, people talk about kids now being fucked up, but back in the day, old people were fucking crazy. You talk to old people, talk to your grandpa how they met their grandma, and like someone died in the process. You know what I mean? It'd be like,
I don't think they even met, right?
how I met your grandmother, right? Really? How, grandpa? Well, I met the guy I found the guy that she was with, and I stabbed the fella in an alleyway. And every year I visit his grave to take a steamy shit on it and laugh about it while he's rotting in hell. And I've lived a long and lovely life with your grandmother.
Was that the joke?
That was one of the jokes.
Well, that's a good joke, man.
Yeah.
I like that joke.
Yeah, I need to bring that shit back right now, dude.
I like it.
Yeah, so it was that. I talked about Vince Scully. I did the Vince Scully bit, I think. And
For
then
your first set?
The first set, yeah.
What the fuck?
It was really quick, though. I think it was 5 minutes. Yeah. I did a bit about daydreaming. Yeah.
That's crazy. So how long ago was that?
That was 2013. Yeah.
Damn. And you still have the Ben Scully.
Yeah.
And you still have, are you going to bring back I mean, those are good jokes. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Which is weird because my first joke up here in LA also was one that I still use. I'm losing faith in it. I think I'm gonna retire the queef joke.
Oh yeah,
but that was my first joke.
I don't know. You should never retire queefs. You know,
you should never retire queefs. But, I was watching at the time as well. Man, I feel like we got a bunch of shit we need to.
Yeah, we'll do another one, dude. Yeah, this is just fun to kind of shoot the shit and talk about comedy and yeah, dude. Well, I'm excited for your episodes of Robertland to come out too.
Yeah,
dude.
Totally. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Robertland Podcast on everything. So
and Patreon. What about
Patreon? Robertland Podcast Patreon. Also. Yeah.
Also, okay. So yeah, we cut it short because we're about to fucking do some comedy stuff right now. But it was nice talking to you, Robert.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, Mike.
Do you want to say something to your Spanish speaking fans?
Oh yeah. Lo siento español poquito. Chupa mi verga, binchihuero. Chalupa. Ego sum Robertas subsaturas custos. No, that's Latin. I don't know. Fuck, dude. What else do I know?
They'll get it.
Yeah, okay.
So thanks a lot, Robert. Gracias, muchas gracias. Y pues ya saben, los quiero ver bien. Así que pasen muy buenas noches, muy buenas tardes. Y Adios, motherfuckers.
Adios.
I can believe it. It's out